1941, a state of war.
What General Vagon has called the Battle of France is over. The Battle of Britain is about to begin.
We shall fight on the beaches, we shall fight on the landing grounds, we shall fight in the fields and in the streets, we shall fight in the hills.
Hey guys and gals, this is Alden from the Mosin Crate. First things first, I can't answer any sales related questions here on YouTube because they will delete the video. That includes things like how much are they, where can I buy them, how can I buy them. But if you just Google my username, the Mosin Crate, you can kind of figure it out from there. Or if you go onto rumble.com and search for the Mosin Crate without any spaces, you'll find the same video on there where I can and do answer questions like that and can just be a whole lot more honest and forthcoming with information. So these are all Puerto Rican police Glock 23s. You can see they got the Gen 3 fish gill, shark gill serrations. They have the RTF2 finish, rough textured frame finish. They've got the extended slide safety and the upgraded metal sights. This one, first one, actually has case file numbers on it, as you can see there on the barrel, slide, kind of see it there in the mag well, and then even on the magazine. So this specific one was in an officer-involved shooting, and basically when these things went to court, the officer wanted their handgun back without these big ugly numbers engraved on the outside, so they would put them in kind of hidden places like that. This is the only one left that I have with case file numbers. You see it's got that nice Puerto Rico, Policia de Puerto Rico marking there on the side of the slide, individually numbered for that pistol. And then the rest of these are likewise the same, except they do not have case file numbers on them. And so in Puerto Rico, basically, all the different departments had different guns. It made training and just logistics a nightmare. Some departments had 9mm, some had 40. These are all in 40, obviously. Some had Berettas, H&Ks, Smiths, just a whole assortment of things. And around 2021, they decided that they were going to switch all departments in phases over to SIGs and 9mm. I'm not sure what model of SIG it was, but that's how these ended up being here, because they were surplusing them so they could get those new SIGs. It started out with quite a few of these, and this is it. Have these 6 or 7 left. And then the FN Browning Hi-Powers. So there's actually quite a few here. These are in nicer shape than usually see that are imported. So the top row, I would say these are very good to excellent condition overall, and we're going to go through them so you can see condition-wise what they look like. And this next row, I'd say these are solid, very good. They have just a little bit more wear to them. You can see this one is actually a C series, 1969 dated, so that's actually CNR eligible. A little bit more wear on the second row. And all of these FN Browning Hi-Powers are in 9mm. Third row, I'd say these are probably good to very good. This is another C series, but being 1976 dated, it's not quite yet eligible as a 50-year-old CNR item. This is a thumbprint. This one is CNR. It's a very old, very early, probably late 40s, early 50s gun there. And this one has an Israeli military, I believe it's a military marking, maybe police. It's got the lanyard loop on there too. All of these FN Hi-Powers were imported out of Israel. And the import markings on all of them are going to be on the bottom of the trigger guard. This row, I'd say probably good to very good. And in the bottom row, these are just solid, good condition. They've got more wear than the others, but still pretty nice. So this is a Gewehr 43, a G43, a Walther 1943 dated, and being that it is such a low serial number, this one was actually produced in 1943. You'll find panel cut 1943 dated Walthers out there, but if they're post 2000 serial number, that usually means they were completed sometime in 1944, because they really didn't ramp up production for these until very late 1943. Now this one is refinished. It has a post-war replacement stock on it. It's not matching. So this would pretty much just be a shooter grade rifle, other than the fact it is a 1943 Walther. I've been looking over the past 10 years. I have not seen one of these come up for sale. I've seen plenty of G and K43 rifles, but I have not seen a Walther 1943. So this is a really cool one. I've had this one, gosh, 10 or 15 years now. Make sure you get a shooter's kit if you get a Gewehr 43, because you can crack the frame, the receiver anyways. And moving on to the P38. So we're just kind of go through these, and then I've got a whole lot of history to go over with them too, because these are a little more interesting than what they look like. And all of these are going to be in 9mm as well. So this first one, you can see it's got the little AC42 on there. AC stands for Walther, so this is a Walther 1942 produced. You can see it's got some British nitro-proof markings on there. So these started out in Germany during World War II. They ended up in East Germany post-World War II. And then they ended up, for some reason or another, in Britain, probably for export, and then they went to another country after that. I can't tell you what country that is, because they're still sourcing stuff out of it, and they don't want to give that away, but these things are well traveled. Import markings on them is going to be on the bottom of the slide, so you're never going to notice it. This one's a 1940 dated Walther. This one does not have any East German markings on it, and they marked this one as damaged, I think, but you can see it's got cracks, stress cracks on the side of the mag release, and then on the back of the grip there. So I guess you'd call it a gunsmith special, but it seems to be fully functional. Going back to this one, here's the cool marking that you want to see. So this was for the German police for the Soviet sector of Berlin. And they only did that, I think, from 1945 to 1949, and then they started switching the markings over on those to Volkspolizei, or VOPO police markings, which are like a little starburst. I'll show you that here in a second. But that's pretty cool that you know exactly where that handgun was. It even has a district on it, so you know what part of Berlin that pistol was specifically in during that time. This is another neat one. So this is CYQ for Spreewerk, or I guess German it would be Spraywerke. And I know I butchered that. These are cool because these are actually ones that were left in the factory at the end of the war. The Czechs completed them, and so they were called the VZ46. These are pretty hard to find. They're hard to find because A, they still have the German markings on them from the factory, and B, they have the rampant lion on them, the Czech marking there you can see on the grip right around where or the trigger guard where my thumb was. Most of them had those markings ground off. So to find them with all of those markings on is pretty neat. Here's yet another one. See the little 46 there on the trigger guard on the opposite side. And that one even has an East German VOPO, Volkspolizei marking right there. Something you don't see. So you've got all sorts of cool things going for these. They're World War II German, they're Czech U's, they're VZ46, and then some of them have the Volkspolizei markings on them. And this one here, this one is the same deal. It's got several East German police markings on it. It is a VZ46, but the slide was replaced at some point with a post-war Walther P38 slide. Looks like a 1960 dated slide. And then these are post-war P38s. Now the main difference between these and the above pistols is that the easiest difference anyways, is that the frame is aluminum. So these are lighter. I don't think they're nearly as durable as the steel, but unless you're planning on going out there and shooting, you know, thousands and thousands of rounds out of it each year, I really don't think you're going to notice too much. I like the aluminum frame ones personally. And then the bottom one here, this is without a doubt the nicest one I have ever seen imported. I mean, it looks brand new unissued. Just not a bit of wear on it other than it being factory fired. And that's going to do it for this video, guys. I'm going to have some more cool stuff coming up, so be sure to click that subscribe button, and we'll catch you on the next video. Thanks for watching.